What's going on, guys? Another chilly day out here, but the projects can't stop just because it's wintertime, right? So we got a little thing going on today that's different than what we have been doing. We're gonna put some exhaust on my son's new Christmas present. So check this out. So he was a good boy this year, and we got him one of those little Honda TRX250X bikes, and this has been a pretty neat little machine. It's good for beginners to learn on because you don't have to use the clutch. So it's a little more forgiving, but obviously it teaches them how to work their way into using a clutch. And it's a perfect size for him too. Nice little machine, very reliable, easy to ride, been a lot of fun. But that factory exhaust, as you know, corks these things up a little bit. There's some power to be had there. So I decided to pick him up some aftermarket exhaust. And here it is. This is the DG slip-on. Thought about going with a full kit, but I think this one right here will be just fine for what we're going to do. We're not looking for maximum power output, but we put this exhaust on there. I think I don't know if we'll have to jet it or not. I called the dealership. They said sometimes you have to rejet them and sometimes you don't. It just depends on the machine. So we're going to put this on there and see how it runs, and hopefully it'll wake the bike up a little bit and sound pretty cool in the process. Got some hardware here to mount it with. Going to be kind of exciting. What do you think? Let's do it. You gonna help us, Dixie? Maybe, maybe not. She can just supervise. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, let's get some before and after sound clips. Here's the factory exhaust. Yeah, just start back here, undo those first. It looks like it should be fairly simple. On these 250Xs, you just got two bolts back there that hold the muffler to the frame. Wish this thing would lighten up a little bit so you can see them better. Here we go. And then of course you just got that one up there that holds it into the head pipe. Cool thing about this is it's a nice little father-son project, something easy to get started on. Kind of get their hands dirty, teach them how to use tools and which tools to use and that kind of thing. So we're going to go ahead and loosen this up and try to get this to slide off. So we decided to lay them down here just to compare and make sure that it's all going to be the same size and everything's going to fit up good. And it doesn't look too bad. The DG is just slightly smaller, but as far as the end that goes into the head pipe, everything looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and slide this in and see what happens. Now, obviously you do have a U.S. Forest Service approved spark arrestor back here. So some people, decide to take that out. I think for now we're going to leave it in there and see what happens. All right, that was a piece of cake. Let's see what it sounds like now. Yeah, she sounds good now. I like that. That sounds really good. It's got a deep throaty sound to it, but it's not obnoxious. You know what I mean? So I think that's actually perfect. Awesome. And that was as easy as pie too. We did that in what, 5 minutes? So nice little upgrade there. All we got to do now is make sure that it's running like it's supposed to be. Like I said, the dealership told me sometimes you have to rejet these things and sometimes you don't. Some people get in there and mess around with the air fuel mixture screw, get a little more fuel going into it, and it seems to be okay. So we'll check that out. But now I say what we need to do is an oil change on it because it has been a while. So let's change the oil on this thing and then we'll rip it and see what it does. All right, so I think to change the oil, I've never done it before on one of these 250s, but there should be, go on the other side, and I think there should be a drain bolt right up under there. Yeah, I think that's the hole for it right there. So that oil actually looks a little bit milky to me. So you can tell it's been in there for a little while. This machine was just about 2 years old when we got it, so it's always good to go through here and do some preventative maintenance on it. You know, these Hondas have a good reputation, but you still got to take care of them. And he's learning how to change oil today too, so that's another benefit. So we'll go ahead and finish draining this out, and I think the manual said 1.5 quarts is what we're going to put back in it. Now when you go to put the oil back in, right there is your fill plug, and it should have, let me get up here, a dipstick connected to it. I've never done this on a 250 before, but yeah, it's got a little dipstick on there with it, so that's cool. So pretty easy. Now these don't have a spin-on oil filter or anything like that on them. I guess they've got that internal screen like some of the older Hondas did. So pretty simple process, and we'll go ahead and get this bolted back up and give it a rip. I'm gonna slide the drain pan out of the way. Here's your bolt right here, and here is your socket and your ratchet. So when you run that bolt back up in there, make sure it's nice and straight, because you don't want to cross thread these bolts. If you cross thread a drain bolt, that's bad news. But it's down to just a little drip now, so we'll go ahead and put that up in there. Here's a towel if you need it. We're just going to stick our little funnel in there, and when you do that, yeah, turn it like that. And the manual said 1.5 quarts, and this still has I think 2 quarts left in it, so we're not going to put all that in there. Okay, we're going to leave, what's 2 minus 1.5? That leaves you 1/2, right? So we're going to leave 1/2 of a quart in there. Make sure you pour it nice and slow though, because you don't want that funnel to pop out on you. Get this all buttoned up. Now I'll admit that rejetting a carb on one of these old machines, well, any machine really, is something that I've never done before. I don't have any experience in that. I could probably figure it out, but my father's very experienced, so we might ask him if we need to do that. We'll ask him to help us out with that part of the project. But I'm hoping that we won't have to do that. All right, check it and make sure you don't put it all in there, because I told you we got to only put 1.5. Let's see on the side here. Hold it up level. Oh, you just put 1 quart in. We still got 1/2 of a quart to go. So, all right, we'll be back in a minute. So the last thing we'll do here, I don't know if you pull that straight out, or there you go, you just lift it up, and then we'll take the seat off, because in here is your air box and of course the battery. And what we're going to do is push these little tabs backward and get in here, yeah, pop that air box lid off of there, and we'll see what the air filter looks like. Push those tabs all the way back so they're not in your way. Yeah, see, there's your air filter, and it's a little dirty, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's...
And some kids even take this lid off and just leave it off, and that way you can get even more air in there. But obviously if you ride in water or mud or anything like that, you don't want to do that, because you don't want to get any water and mud sucked into your engine. But yeah, this thing should rip now. It should pick up a little bit of power. If we can get it to you know, get the air fuel just right, it should pick up some power and run a little better. So that was an awesome, easy little project to do with my son. Like I said, it's good to get them outside, teach them how to get dirty and do a few things. Otherwise they never know. So we'll see how the ATV runs, and hopefully here in the next couple of months when the weather starts warming up, I found a new off-road park we're gonna go check out. It's called Hollerwood, not to be confused with Hollywood. It's the Kentucky version, Hollerwood. And so this off-road park is supposed to have a little bit of everything. It's connected to the Daniel Boone National Forest, so should be some beautiful trails. hopefully we can get my son's Honda and the Arctic Cat Wildcat down there. Who knows, man? The Gladiator might even get to go out on some trails. Never know. So, you know, it's fun working on this stuff, but eventually you got to use it and have some fun. So I'm gonna start working on scheduling some trips. Hopefully we can get some good video and show you guys just how beautiful Kentucky is when you get out in the woods. All right, I'm gonna go tinker around with the truck a little bit, and I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you in a little while.